Hey now, it's Brace for Impact, and I'm your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm joined as always by JD by God Oliva. How you doing, JD? Oh my, you asshole! We're
They're
gonna get
not
kicked off the air.
they're not Mindy's cupcakes, but they're pretty
No.
good Lay's potato chips.
Oh man, the this is terrible radio. I think the listeners have probably had to turn down their car stereos because JD decided to take a bite of a potato chip right as I was introducing him.
Very beginning of the show. I was setting that up for like a good 5 minutes. I was waiting for that.
You know that's bullshit because last week I tried to do a show with just my face. I tried to wear a green shirt in front of a green screen and be a floating head, kind of like, oh god, what was that? I think it was an old Carson skit or something like that, or a Conan skit.
I think it's Conan's
Where
kid,
he
yeah.
had Conan skit. I tried to do that, and you're like, no, I'm a professional. I can't sully my reputation with this, so you have to straighten up, Gilbert.
Mike, I'm an educator. Do as I say, don't do as I do.
It's kind of like because I work in occupational health and safety for the military.
Mm-hmm.
And safety people are usually the worst at like wearing their PPE and stuff like that. It's always a do as I say, not as I do
Yeah,
type of gig.
I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. You need to learn.
yeah, yeah. So how's everything going, man? How's your week been?
Dude, so busy. Like something's got to go. Like I've been putting in 13, 14-hour days at school, and I was not anticipating that when I took the job. So it's like I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, to be quite honest with you. So I mean, like, I do a lot of extracurriculars, and I just need to prioritize. But have faith. Brace for Impact is super important to me. I ain't going anywhere.
Yes. Brace for impact until we get fired, which could happen any day now. I just
I-
always expect that I'm gonna get
I-
fired. So
I anticipate it. This problem's going to work itself out, actually.
chances are I will say something stupid, which is I've been known to do and capable of doing. And Garrett will just be like, look, guys, it's not working out.
I'm anticipating every week. I'm like, what can we say to get ourselves in trouble this week? Oh, we got away with it for another week. Eventually, Garrett will listen to the show and be like, hey, you guys are assholes.
Yeah, I mean, he might make Jeremy and Justin Nipper host the show because he wants to keep the impact content. Be like, JD and Mike got to go.
Dude, Justin was watching Impact today. I saw in the Fight Community group. He's talking about the show. I'm like,
yeah,
you're watching Impact on purpose?
Yeah, Justin started a thread.
I know.
Hey, Justin's on our side. He actually went on the air and explained to his co-host,
the great Fumi Saito.
The great Fumi Saito, that Impact is still in business because Fumi had no idea. He did not know that Impact was still in business.
Is it bad when one of the top pro wrestling historians has no clue your company is still around?
I would say that's not a good sign, but Fumi, I think, is more, he's very, he's obviously located in Japan. He's focused in that world. So probably only the biggest stuff is going to make it to him. So Impact is probably not on his radar. And Impact, they haven't done a show in Japan since like that god awful Bound for Glory they did there at the Korakuen Hall.
I forgot they did Bound for Glory at Korakuen.
Dude, it was with Muto's promotion.
Yeah, Wrestle One.
Wrestle One. They did a joint show there, and it was not good. It was probably one of the worst shows in TNA history.
Wrestle One wasn't. I mean, there was some fun stuff. I shouldn't say it's not. I know Jolly Rocca loved Wrestle One. There's some good talent in Wrestle One. Sonata came out of Wrestle One. Big Shitaro Ishino fan over here, but yeah, it was Wrestle One. I get why they wanted to line themselves because you want to do business with Muto. And for those who try to dismiss the importance of the great Muta, I point you to his retirement show ticket sales. They're doing well.
Like 7,000 for front row or something like that.
Yeah,
is what Justin was telling us. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, hey, speaking of Japan, let's go ahead and get into the show. On BTI, Uemura defeated Raj Singh. And that was talking Yuya Uemura. That's so I don't like to mispronounce people's names, and if I say his name too fast, I stumble. So I'm going with last name on that deal, just so I don't sound stupid. I don't want to insult him or the Japanese people with my lack of intelligence.
A lot of ya sounds in that name, so I get that.
Yeah,
very very trippable.
Yeah, Yuya Uemura. That's a really cool wrestler name, I would say.
It is actually.
I like that. Yeah.
But anyway, you're gonna get used to saying that name. a lot.
Yes. Well, and as we heard on Impact, he's going to be sticking around a little bit. Let me go ahead and go to. Should we? Let's top of the show. Let's go ahead and hit some breaking news. How about it?
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
All right. Well, breaking news. This news comes to us from Gerard, big new distribution deal Ryan, man, our guy Gerard, by the way, congrats to Gerard. He got a gig with bodyslam.net. And he's been there for 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure he has posted more articles than I posted in 2 years for Fight Game Media. He has been just knocking them out left and right.
He loves this company. I mean, this is a dude who just loves Impact Wrestling and is the perfect guy to write for a place like Body Slam, because he's going to put in the work because he cares, man. He truly cares about the health and the future of this company.
Yeah, and this is a for love of the game type of situation. So he's strictly doing this because he wants to promote Impact and promote people who like Impact and get the word out. He's always telling people how to watch and things like that. Because our friend Larry in the Fight Game Media group, he's like, I still don't know how to watch Impact, even though he DM'd me like a month ago and I explained it to him in detail. He posted in the thread, I don't know how to watch Impact. So I typed in google.com to him and just sent that to him. So here's how you watch Impact, sir. You Google it.
Funny you mentioned our good friend Larry Sternshine. He actually messaged me today saying, do you guys actually like the show that you cover? Because I guess he's never listened to us before, which is heartbreaking. Yeah. But yeah, he goes, do you guys actually like the show you cover, or do you wish you were covering another show? And I'm like, I said, we're fair. I said, we're tough but fair on the show. When it's good, we praise. When it's not good, we'll bury a little bit. But I think we're fair, and we generally like. I mean, if I can't do a show that I hate. If I had to do a show that I hated, I couldn't do it.
They don't pay me enough money here to hate watch something. I don't have that in me. So if I didn't like Impact, I wouldn't be doing this show. There's been episodes I didn't like, but for the most part, I believe that this should be a fun show. People want to come here because they like Impact. And then if you don't like Impact, you're going to listen to us because we try to entertain you. Mm-hmm. This is not going to be a hate watching show. That's not what we do here. No. That's not. And that's never going to be if I get to a point where I don't like this product anymore, I will quit. Like legit, I'll do something like it'll be the Mike and JD show, and we're going to watch 1984 Mid-South or some shit. Like that's what we're going to do.
I would like that.
Well, I probably shouldn't tell you that because you would probably want to do that.
No, I mean I did not like. I loved Impact in 2016. I've sung the praises of the Corgan era of Impact much. I thought it was a really good era for the company. I did not like the Jeff Jarrett return stuff, and I stopped watching for a long time. So if I don't like a show, I don't watch. And we can be critical on Impact because that's literally our job. So I mean, I probably go harder on it than most shows because it's literally what we get paid to do. I mean, but I don't think I don't think we hate watch or we're overly critical. I just think we're fair.
And I think Larry was referencing another show on the network where maybe they were being a little bit overly negative. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to talk about the show that he might be.
I didn't know that.
But so I think that's what he's referencing. Yeah. And so because yeah. But Larry's a good guy. He's coming to Hawaii, but he's going to go to a different island, so we can't connect. I was hoping to have coffee with him or something.
Having been to Hawaii, that's tough. People are like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii. Oh, where are you going? Oh, the Big Island. Oh, I'm on Oahu. I mean, it's not like it's a hop, skip, and a jump. You got to travel.
No. Yeah, no, it's it probably cost me $200 to get over to go have a cup of coffee with him, So
I don't like anyone that much. I'm not going to visit anyone for $200.
No, but anyway, we hit the breaking news button, JD, before we got sidetracked. Yeah, we got a couple of big new signings, two that I'm pretty excited about, and then we're bringing in some old faces that we've probably saw a long time ago. A new face to Impact, but a face that was on Ring of Honor for a very long time. But the first one I would say probably, well, it's covered. I would say the one that Impact made the most hoopla about was the return of Joe Hendry. He is now signed to the company. He got the graphic. He got the Impact graphic, and he got an intro video. Joe Hendry is signed, and we're going to cover it on the show, but he had one of the great intro videos of all time. to reintroduce a character that I've ever seen in my life. But Joe Hendry, what are your thoughts on Joe?
First of all, I did the bit with the eating. Now I got chips stuck in my teeth. It was a terrible idea. I thought the video was absolutely hilarious. The
Yes.
graphic was great because I don't remember anyone getting a graphic aside from like Gunner back in the day. Like, so it was very tongue in cheek to another place, and I laughed out loud like 7 times during this
Yeah.
like 2-minute video. Like, it was really good. I'm excited. I think having Joe Hendry back is great. I think he's a good underutilized talent.
Yeah, he's a very entertaining guy.
Yeah.
I think he's really committed to doing more comedy wrestling, even though he has like a
Yes.
he has a legit shoot background. And so when I saw the graphic before I actually watched the video, because the graphic popped up in the chat, and it goes, "Oh, Impact signed Joe Hendry." And then when the intro video comes on, I didn't know that was for Joe. I thought it was for something else, right?
Mhm.
So whenever I saw the graphic for it, I was like, oh, Joe Hendry, he was funny in 2019. Him and Grado had a funny act. At one point, he sang a song about Winter having sex with her pirate brother, which was referencing a Paul Burchall skit from early mid 2000s WWE SmackDown, which cracked me up. But other than that, he didn't really
And
do much. And then
it was WWE's incestuous period when they were flirting
yeah,
with incest.
yeah,
TB14.
which is something that Vince McMahon was oddly curious about. Anyway, moving on.
Disturbingly, continue.
Disturbingly, yeah. Moving on. Before we get fired. Um, um, so he was in Impact like 2018, 2019. He ends up leaving to Ring of Honor, and then the pandemic hits, and he's shut down for a while. He doesn't get picked up by anybody. It looks like he's got his visa, and he's back at Impact, and he's back doing the singing character that he did before that I always thought was funny. What are your thoughts on the singing character, or would you rather him be doing more of a serious Joe Hendry?
So I was out for this for 2018, 2019, right? I kind of
Yeah,
came back in. Kenny Omega brought me back. So
right.
I missed a lot of this run. So when you guys were talking about it in the chat, I was like, Joe Hendry did a singing character? Because I remember him in Ring
Yeah,
of Honor, and I was like
right.
surprised to see that. So it's all new to me, and I excuse me, I laughed. But I do wonder if maybe we have too many comedy characters right now.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't
But
know.
you know, it just depends. So they've just introduced him. I mean, you can do a hybrid comedy
You could.
and serious. You can go back and forth, right?
Mhm.
You can be a funny babyface that can kick ass. I didn't see that in this clip that we saw. I didn't see that that's what we're gonna get, but I guess we could, because he legit has a shoot background. Like he has
Mhm.
like amateur MMA fights and stuff like that. He's a pretty well trained guy, and he was looking pretty swole too. He's
He
got
did look
those
good.
yeah, he's got those good pharmaceuticals in the UK. He's pretty jacked. So, yeah, shh. He looked
Tell,
great.
tell me wrestlers do drugs? Not anymore.
Velveteen Dream said everybody's doing them. So, anyway, not to get
Fuck
sidetracked on that one.
Scarface over there. Yeah.
Yeah. We got another guy coming in. Delirious, OE of Ring of Honor fame. The former booker of Ring of Honor, who essentially tanked the company and had it sold to Tony Khan, is coming into Impact. Hopefully, as only a wrestler. You know way more about Ring of Honor than I do. What are your thoughts on Delirious? At least coming in as a wrestler. What do you think?
He's okay. I mean, like they talked about, they really suckered us. They're bringing in this former Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah,
Nobody had Delirious.
I did not have.
Nobody.
No, I
Um,
did not have that one on my bingo card.
he's older now. He's probably a little beat up, I'd say. Here's what bothers me is Delirious he's Hunter Johnson. So if you ever hear anybody talk about Ring of Honor booking and they mention the name Hunter Johnson, that's Delirious. He was the booker of Ring of Honor for a long time. I want to say after Cornette,
Yeah.
or is
Yep.
Adam Pearce? He might have been after Adam Pearce. I forget the exact timeline, but he was the booker of Ring of Honor during the upswing in Ring of Honor, right? When in the like 2015 to like 2019, he was booking. But let's be real, like Ring of Honor was not a product people watched for its storylines. He was one of the most lazy, uninspired bookers I've ever seen. He was replaced by Marty Skrull, and people were very excited about it before Marty turned out to be a statutory rapist. And then Hunter
Yes.
Johnson got the book back, and it was the pandemic, and it was a nightmare anyway. Um, the only reason I don't like this, because we can be a little hard on the booking sometimes, but one thing I can say about Impact is it's never boring, right? Ring of
Right.
Honor under Hunter Johnson, often the TV specifically, under Hunter Johnson was boring a lot of the time. Like anything that happened was a New Japan adjacent, right?
Yeah, well, so I think without New Japan in that, well, because they had the Young Bucks and Omega, and the Young Bucks and Omega were very hot on the indie scene.
Not really. Omega did not make nearly as many Ring of Honor appearances as people think.
I meant to say Cody. I'm sorry. So it was
Cody,
the Young Bucks and Cody. Omega came in with New Japan and did some tours with them, but it wasn't. And he did make their business bigger whenever he showed up. Like the percentage increase was very good. I remember the big story back in the day. But he had the Bucks and Cody, and they were just hot on the indies. So everywhere they went, they did pretty well. But I think they did well, and probably in spite of him. Would you say that's probably pretty true?
I think that is accurate because the Bucks got popular doing their own stuff, right?
Yeah.
They became really popular with PWG. And if you wanted to watch the Young Bucks, the best place to do it was Ring of Honor, right? Like I went to Ring of Honor shows in Chicago just to watch the Young Bucks, and Cody got there, and Hunter Johnson didn't come up with the Ring of Honor that Cody wore everywhere. A lot of the MJF shit Cody was doing before he did. So like Cody heel run in Ring of Honor, great stuff, by the way, if you have a chance to ever watch it. I'm not thrilled
very good.
Very, very good. This is why people like he can't be a heel. I disagree with you. You should watch that. I don't like this because I don't believe he just is coming in to do a shot. I hope it's just my paranoia, because he also is going to bring his girlfriend with him, and Mandy Leon's terrible in every way, shape, and form. Ugh. So I'm not thrilled. Hopefully it's just a match and we can get, I mean, like of all the people you can book, Delirious is a weird call to me. It feels very political.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The guy's been out of wrestling. He obviously didn't get picked up by Tony Khan. Tony Khan wanted nothing to do with the guy. And that seems to be guys who Impact is going after. Is like, hey, are you on WWE or AEW's radar? No. All right, come on in. And so they got Joe Hendry and Joe Hendry signed. Delirious might be a one shot, right? Delirious, that might be a one shot deal. I don't know. I would hate to be presumptuous to think that he's coming in for a backstage gig.
Shane Taylor does a job to Crazy Steve, and they're bringing and Grant Delirious is going to do a job too, but it's much higher profile. It's weird to me. Weird.
And they built him up in that Speedball skit, which was terrible. They built him up as like a Ring of Honor legend.
That's what
right.
That's what I'm saying. The whole thing feels very political because it's even in Ring of Honor, Delirious wasn't taken seriously. Like he was just on the show occasionally. I mean, he's the booker. Mm-hmm. Like he I'll say this for Delirious. He did not book himself at the center of his promotion. I'll say that for him.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's coming in just to have this match, or maybe come in every now and then and not tank the booking further than it's already been tanked lately.
No. Ring of Honor, like especially when they all left, much worse than what we've got here in Impact. Much.
Oh yeah. So we hit to the main card, and we got Speedball Mike Bailey defeating Mascara Dorada to retain the X Division Championship, and I really liked this match. I thought this was very good.
Great match.
After the match was over, Kenny King ran down and took Dorada out and hit a Royal Flush on Bailey. They're still working that feud there, but great match, man.
Great match.
And then it looks like that might be it for Dorada, because I think he debuted on AEW this week, right?
He did some stuff with Dark, so it wouldn't surprise. I mean, like he's not, I don't know, he's doing the freelancer guy thing, so it wouldn't surprise me if he sticks around here, does Dark, does Impact. Like the company has a working relationship, despite chairs flying in the Joe Hendry video. The company does have a working relationship. Okay. At least they did.
We're gonna get to that, man. I wish we had the rights to that video. Like I should email Ross and be like, "Can you just give me the rights? Because I want to play it, and I want JD and I to run commentary over."
I laughed so hard. at that. It was Joe Hendry.
Our friend Joel Pearl from a Fightful, me and him had a conversation. He was like, "This is like the greatest thing that's ever happened." So, I thought it was fabulous, fantastic. A new Violet by Design vignette aired. Eric Young and Diener were initiating a group of trainees. Young demanded to be called the Designer. Diener beat up a couple of them when they called him by the wrong name, and Young demanded the rest chant, "I am Violence." So he introduced each person and asked them what their name was, and they said that their name was Violence. I didn't recognize any of these people, but they're still using the Manic Cesaro in the background. I think it's filmed pretty well. But
Yes.
and I'm interested to see where they go with it. But everybody that was in the crowd there, they did not look like wrestlers. Some were quite portly, most were quite small. There was nobody in there that I was like, I didn't recognize anybody from the indie scene or from any other promotion. It just looked like a bunch of randos wearing hoodies outside of a big house.
The production's really good. The production of the Eric Young stuff is always good.
Yeah.
I was really hoping we were done with this. And now doing this like pseudo Spartacus thing, it's kind of like, I don't know, man, it's corny. I was talking to my WWE buddy today, and we were I won't get into that. But I mean, we're both, let's just put it this way. There's a lot of Bray Wyatt knockoff stuff going on right now over a lot of places, and none of it is great.
Yeah.
So I'm not I don't know, man. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of Eric Young doing this thing.
I was ready for him to be a babyface again.
Me too.
Really
or just something different. Like I just wanted something. I feel like I just can't listen to Eric Young cut the same like warbling promo like for the next 8 months.
Yeah. Scott D'Amore approached Mike Bailey backstage. He congratulated Bailey. Okay, so first he made Bailey seem like he was in trouble, and Bailey goes, "Oh no, Scott, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble?" Making him look like a total pussy. Like they completely castrated this poor guy on TV, and I was just like, "Yo, we're already like he's a great wrestler, but we're having trouble with his charisma, and then you guys make him say this bullshit. Like, what are we doing? Like this guy's supposed to be he doesn't have to be like a bad motherfucker completely, but like at least make him seem like he's somewhat tough. Like he shouldn't be afraid that he's in trouble, right? He's a champion.
Can he be cool? Like,
yeah.
Can he be like can he be like one of the Van Damme characters from like Kickboxer or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I always thought they were trying to go for the George St. Pierre thing. Like put the guy in a suit, clean him up a little bit, and then make him be like an old school, like professional world champion. Like he's a serious wrestler. The guy can't be a character, right? He just doesn't have that skill set. So just put him in a suit, make him look nice. He's like a classic world champion wrestler, and he kicks people's heads off. I think that's cool.
He's a really good wrestler. I mentioned before that what is Speedball? Like he came off like such a weenie in this. I mean,
he did.
It just wasn't. I mean, like again, most wrestlers shouldn't act, but we got to try. And I appreciate the effort. I really do. I like them trying something, but I think you got to look at it and go, man, this isn't working, right? Like, it just. I don't know what the effect was trying to, but he seemed like a kid in trouble with the principal, but like acting like doing community theater, like he was in trouble with the principal.
Yeah, it was bad. And then
match was good.
D'Amore, the match was great. D'Amore then tried his best to carry the rest of the segment, do all the talking, and he had a lot to get in here because he announced that Delirious would be at Victory Road to challenge him. Ooh. And that he also got a call from Jacksonville. Because Frankie, the future Kazarian, is returning to his past once again after his big swan song. 2 months later, he is back. He's back in Impact. He'll be part of the Triple Threat Revolver match featuring Trey Miguel, Kenny King, Black Taurus, Laredo Kid, who he announced as being for outside Impact from AAA. They've been here for like 2 years, but I just go with it. Okay.
They also announced Alex Zane is from Japan, and I'm fairly certain he's from Kentucky.
Yeah, one of my favorite Japanese wrestlers, and Alex Zane, and of course, and Yuya Uemura, and then Mia Yim. I guess we're doing intergender crap. So, but the Triple Threat Revolver match. Are you familiar with what that is?
To be honest, no, I'm not.
Okay, so I'll have to look up. So I'm sure somebody will DM us and let us know what event that they debuted at. But it was during the pandemic. It was right before you and I started podcasting.
Okay.
So the Triple Threat Revolver, it's basically like kind of a gauntlet match, but it starts with 3 people, right, doing a triple threat match. And then as one person gets pinned, another person comes down, and then they continue the triple threat. So it's like an elimination style, and they get 6 people in there eventually, and they go all the way down till there's one person left. And that's how Josh Alexander won his number 1 contenders match to get to the X Division title in 2021. I'm sorry. I thought it was outstanding. It's Impact original, new era Impact. They created this match. I love the match. And I'm excited for this one. Intergender is not really my thing, but Mia Yim's a good worker, so we could probably work around that a little bit. So, and they got a lot of good workers in the match with her. So
I usually dog on the triple threat stuff, but that sounds really cool. Like that's a nice
Yeah,
spin on an overdone concept, to be quite frankly. Big fan
yeah,
actually. I'm excited to
yeah.
see this match now more than I was before.
Right, and it's been a year and a half since they've done it, and I really enjoyed the last one anyway. It was it's like the first time anybody had introduced a new style of match in a while. Like
It's hard.
AEW had a lot of ideas like originally, but they were like spin-offs of different matches that have already occurred, like the Battle Royale, the Casino Ladder match, and with all the spades and jacks and queens and kings and all that stuff. So this was something different that Impact could do, and I really enjoyed it.
Casino Battle Royale kind of sucks as a concept. Casino ladder
Yeah,
match kind of works. I like the staggered entrances in a ladder match. That's like
yeah,
the only interesting match that they've created over there. Impact
yeah.
has a long tradition of creating interesting matches. So
They do.
I missed this one last, so it's been just before I got back in full time. So I'm really curious, especially with the talent involved. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Next we go to kind of a nothing match, but it was geared towards an angle, so I'm going to go ahead and forgive the match. But it was a Decay versus Steve Macklin and Moose, and it was a can they coexist between Moose and Macklin? And wouldn't you know it, they could not coexist. Macklin bumped into Moose and then got hit with the dreaded roll up by Black Taurus. And then after the match, they're arguing a little bit, Moose and Macklin, and then they're interrupted by Sammy Callahan from the balcony, and he threw it to a video where where Moose was on FaceTime with his lawyer and asking if he had any legal obligation to Steve Macklin. And said, well, did you sign anything? And did you offer him anything? Well, he goes, I offered him something, but I planned on screwing him anyway, like I did to Morrissey. I howled. I was like, I thought that was so funny. And then they kicked it to another video where Macklin was essentially saying the same thing, like he could not wait to screw Moose. And I was like, you know what, Impact? Good for you. They did a can they coexist situation where both heels are actual pieces of shit, and they proved they were pieces of shit. And it turns out, no, they can't trust each other. So now they're going into this triple threat barbed wire match where nobody likes anybody, which I'm glad they finally got there. But and they finally explained why Macklin's even in this situation. So I like it.
I love the angle. I thought the angle was really good. I'm going to nitpick something though, because when I was watching, I'm like, wow, Moose has the cleanest Zoom call I've ever seen in my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
I wish they would have just done an actual Zoom call because it's Impact.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tweak stuff later. I think that's the case, especially with Sammy being the hacker. You could have like
Yeah.
found the footage and it would have looked better. This just looked like they filmed it and edited it. So I think that was a little bit of a loss.
They did have RD Evans, like a little picture of RD Evans
they
on
did,
the bottom. So.
but it was clearly like, but they shot it with their cameras. It was clean. Like the images were clean. Like we're on,
Yeah.
remember our shows when we used to do Zoom and like they were all
Yeah.
ugly looking? Like it wasn't ugly enough. Like that's an opportunity you can utilize that production wise. I was like, oh, that's kind of a miss, but the angle was good. I really liked it. We finally moved forward with this storyline, and I think it's been needing it. Like I feel like it's been dragging for a while. Ask her to unplug my computer. I like that. I like this. I really do. Get out of there, dog. Come on.
Yeah. The match was basically a nothing match, but it led to the angle, and I think the angle saved everything. And we finally got where we were going with this whole situation. And I really enjoyed it. I thought everybody played their parts well. And I like the fact that heels, like, because in the old days, all the heels stuck together and all the baby faces stuck together. But in modern era, like heels are bad to everybody. like they're willing to team up with other bad people, but they'll turn on each other because they're not trustworthy.
One of my favorite adages for writing is "There's no honor among thieves." Right? It's such a great thought process to go on when creating villains. Right? Because the villains should only be looking out for themselves. Like especially like two irredeemable pieces of shit like Macklin and Moose. Like fuck, I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I was thinking. Sometimes I think of like skits and stuff that you could do, and like just in like TV shows, movies, and then I sometimes will think about skits that I could like write in wrestling. And one of the ones I was just like, you know what Moose should do, because Moose has no business being in a barbed wire match. He is a professional athlete. He's the highest paid guy in the company. He dresses to the nines. He's got the shredded body. He should just go to Scott D'Amore next week, right? And then Uncle Scott, if you're listening, Moose should come to Scott next week and be like, he goes, Scott, why the hell am I even in this match? Look, I hired Steve Macklin to help take out Sammy. He took out Sammy, and all of a sudden we're still doing this thing. And now you got me in a barbed wire match with these two crazy white motherfuckers. Have you ever seen Sammy Callahan? Like, the guy stinks. He's always bleeding. He's always scratched up. And then Steve Macklin's actually killed motherfuckers. And now I'm in a match with this guy. I should be in the world title match. I'm the highest paid guy here. I'm the best athlete in the entire company. You got me doing this shit. Like, that's what Moose should be doing right now.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree.
And he should say crazy white motherfuckers. Like, that would kill, I think, would be a great line.
Because you could bleep it and it would work out. I would laugh. I would laugh forever if Moose actually said crazy white motherfuckers on Impact. I would I would tweet about it for weeks. I would. I'd be like, Moose called you up crazy white motherfucker. Like, I would tell everybody I know. I'd be at school looking at kids. Did you know Moose called a kid a crazy white motherfucker? Like, I was just saying that to people.
But that I think all that worked.
It did. It was good.
Yep. Yeah, we got some video recaps, and then all of a sudden we go to Rosemary, Taya, and Jessica argued over who fault it was that Taya lost to Chelsea Green, and then Rosemary said that
my fault. That's who I had to watch it. My fault.
And Rosemary said that Jessica still needs to prove her loyalty. I've been liking the Jessica character. I did not care for the skit though.
No, went nowhere. Spin the wheels.
Yeah. So, but I guess we'll find out what's going on next week. And then Killer Kelly defeated Alicia. So, quick squash with Tasha Steelz on commentary. Thoughts?
Fine.
Yeah. I mean,
I like watching Killer Kelly wrestle.
Yeah, me too. And Alicia Edwards does a good job at losing.
She's actually like become my favorite enhancement talent because that's what they use her for, right? She'll do a couple storylines with Eddie here and there, and then she just gets her ass kicked by the better women in the promotion, and she's good at it. So
she is, and people like her. Like she seems like a genuinely nice person.
She's very sympathetic.
When heels beat her up, like she gets the sympathy and it puts heat on the heels. I think it's cool. And every once in a while, like she'll just show up and kick somebody's ass with like a Singapore cane and stuff like that. So,
but you need because you got to get something the credibility, make people happy. No, she's one of the few like legitimately likable people in wrestling that doesn't have to lie and say they're saving dogs from burning buildings to garner sympathy from people. Like she's legitimately like well liked. So yeah, I like Alicia.
Yeah. And then we go to the Joe Hendry comedy vignette, and I promise you, I was not expecting what I was about to get. So the video starts, and I'm like, I didn't know. I honestly thought that we were watching a trailer for a Gravitas Ventures movie.
Some crappy Gravitas movie,
because the acting was bad. It was super campy, and I thought it was like a Gravitas movie. And then, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I'm watching it, and I'm like, well. And I'm watching on the YouTube stream. So I'm like, this isn't just a normal commercial. This is a part of the show. So it's either movie trailer that they're promoting, or it's like a poorly filmed sketch. And then they keep going. They got this old man, he's dying. And he's getting ready to say a word. All of a sudden music kicks on, a chair goes flying, and in comes Joe Hendry with some bleach blonde hair singing I Believe in Joe Hendry's song. And I was like, this is so fucking good. I was at my desk at work just laughing my ass off. People were like looked over, like, what's he doing over there? And I was just like giggling. I really enjoyed this. They won me over on the very first vignette.
I wish Gravitas did stuff that's entertaining.
Yeah.
Whoever shot that, I don't know who shot that, if Joe Hendry did that on his own or if the company did it or what, but it was a great job. It was a really good job.
And whoever did the music, it sounded like it was cheesy, but it was like super professional, right? And then like they even had like musically, like not just the singing, but the actual like the I don't know how we need Godilla. He's an actual musician to teach us this stuff, but like the number, what do you call it? Like just the instrumental in the background. I thought it was great. I thought it was all great. Yeah. So great job, Impact. Great job, Joe Hendry. Excited to see what they do with him. Next match, we got the OGK. They defeated Josh Alexander and Rich Swann by DQ to retain the World Tag Team Championship. This was one of those matches where nobody could lose. So they did a DQ where at one point Eddie Edwards had hit Josh Alexander with a Singapore cane from the outside while the referee was distracted. They thought the referee was still distracted, and then Heath came in to hit his finishing move on I think it was Taven, and but the referee caught him and disqualified everybody. So there you go.
I like the look on Josh's face at Heath, like, you dumb motherfucker.
So you want to know where this is going, JD? I'm gonna put on my Booker hat. We saw
you are wearing a hat.
That is true. Well, it's because I got it. Look at this. I gotta cover that up. My
Fair.
hairline's worse than that girl in the Hendry videos.
Sorry, that was inappropriate. Continue.
Yeah. But so Heath is going heel. I think by either like at Bound for Glory or after Bound for Glory, Heath's going heel. He's joining up with Honor No More.
Boy, okay, I have two thoughts on that. One, he's so hot right now as a baby face. He's one of the few legitimately loved, and I've been saying it for months. Why? But like, so I think doing it would be dangerous. But the best time to turn somebody is when they're super hot and over like this. I am curious. Like at first I was ready to poo-poo that, but alas, there might be something there. We need heels. So
we do.
I'm on board with turning, even if it's just temporarily, like to do something with Josh. Okay.
He's never really been a heel. Like I know he was doing the 3-man band, but he was like a comedy heel.
Good sir. He's a founding member of the Nexus, my friend.
Well, but I know, but Wade Barrett and Daniel Bryan were like he was like one of the guys running into people's fists.
Okay, Bryan Danielson got fired the first night and they brought him back immediately as a babyface. So he had a far bigger role in the Nexus than Bryan, even though Bryan's the one who did the thing that everybody talks about when they talk about the Nexus. But Heath's OG Nexus, and that's it. My good thing.
That was it. Well, he had the 3-man band, but they were comedy heels, everybody liked them. So
the fact that McIntyre was able to overcome that and become, like, granted they kind of torpedoed him 2 weeks ago, but the fact that he was able to get to that level after all of that, it says a lot about the performer that Drew McIntyre truly is.
Well, and it says a lot about the redeeming qualities that you can get if you leave WWE and come to Impact, which is what happened with Drew Galloway. So
nice play.
Totally redeemed his career. Speaking of redeeming their careers, OGK, I thought they were looking good here. I thought this was a good match until the finish. I don't hate the finish because it wasn't the main event, and we were getting to another match. Yeah. So the guy whoever wrote this on the Observer said it was overbooked. It's like, come on, it's pro wrestling.
It's Impact. We're overbooked. Everything's overbooked. It's what we do.
Yeah. You gotta weave all these other different storylines.
It's TV. People use the term overbooked and they don't know what overbooked means, right?
Yeah.
Everything has. I mean, like, watch MMA. If all you want is nothing but clean finishes, and like that's not wrestling.
If you want fake MMA, you're not gonna get it in Impact or AEW. Like overbooked. Have you watched Dynamite? Like there's always chaos going on, and it should be that way. It should be that way. And then you want your world title matches clean if you can get them, right? And if you're paying for a big time main event or most of your main events, you want those a bit clean. But on the undercard, have fun.
Just go look up Rings videos on YouTube. Like if that really bothers you that much, just check out some Akira Maeda Rings stuff. You'll feel a lot better about life, and just let pro wrestling be pro wrestling.
That's right. Zicky Dice delivered a pizza to Jordan Grace backstage.
Hell of a segue.
And then oh man, I am the king of the segue.
Wrestling. Zicky Dice delivered a pizza. I'm sorry, that struck me so funny.
Grace's locker room wall was still covered with pictures of Grace. She never cleaned up her locker room from the previous week, I guess. And Zicky Dice said that if he hand delivered a package for her, and it was a picture of Max the Impaler. I guess she was on Ring of Honor, right? She did some Ring of Honor. She did some indies. AEW Dark.
All of a sudden, Delirious shows up, and Ring of Honor people start filtering in.
Joe Hendry and Max the Impaler. Who knows? I think something's cooking up with PCO and Vincent. I think they heading down a righteous path with those two guys. So
who made PCO the world champion, don't you?
Yeah, Hunter Johnston. Yeah. But so the pick your poison match with the person that Masha Slamovich is picking is Max the Impaler. I'm not too familiar with her. She has a cool look. That's all I know about her.
They have a cool look.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
They prefer pronoun they.
Okay. So you say I'm not trying to be a dick.
No, I believe so.
Literally
okay. I believe Max the Impaler is non-binary and goes by.
Okay, I didn't know that. And
no, I know.
You can explain it to me offline because I don't know the terminology. So I'm not
will.
trying to be a jerk right now. I'm just not educated. So if I'm offending people, I apologize.
No, I just don't want to. I just don't want to get the emails and messages. They're being like, "You guys are dicks, man." So I'm gonna.
No. Please email me and message me and educate me because I am not educated in this subject. So I don't understand the world. So please.
So here's a
somebody
take.
else can tell me. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of their work, but
Okay.
look wise, I think it will be great. I think Jordan will lift them up and do some really cool looking stuff to them. Right. I think it's going to be a really good warm up to get to the Slamovich match. So I like the booking actually.
Okay, cool. Dig it. Love the look though. Love the look. So we'll see. Not sure about the talent. Not sure about the talent.
Skip it. So I messaged you about this because I said that Impact did not in fact use actual like I said, they used camera mic. Again, I've been doing this for 20 some years. I know I know when I hear it. This was the audio, the wild audio. The audio picked up because every camera's got a mic built into it. And you can tell because it's far away and the sound is different. Like when you have a boom mic, that thing floats just above the shot so you can get a more full sound like when I'm closer to the microphone. When I'm further away from the microphone, you get a different type of sound. And this was much more airy. So this is a television show and they didn't use real audio sound in it. And that drove me up the wall. Like the cameras looked fine this week, but now we can't get our audio sunk. So it's astounding.
Are they able to adjust the white balance in post-production? Because since that first week, we haven't had the problem.
Yeah, they're able to. It's harder. Okay. I mean, it's harder. Like you can color correct, and it's way more work in editing than it is on the camera. Like in the camera, you push a button. Like editor can get, but it's effort.
So I think I deserve a little credit here, and I'll tell you why. I actually messaged their post-production people.
Really?
Well, it was a public mess. It was a comment, I guess, because they were having a conversation, and I said, "Hey, who the hell's in charge of white balancing your cameras?"
I did see that actually,
and they never responded to me. But the following week, it all looks great. Like they handled it in post. Yeah,
it does. So one more time, who's in charge of sound mixing? Because that was, and especially in that segment too, which is all comedy, you need to hear it. So not a fan. But the skit was funny. What's up with pizza being all over pro wrestling this week?
I know we had the little Luigi pizza guy on AEW Dynamite, and we had two scenes in Dynamite that were exactly the same, but one was executed pretty well, the other one was executed poorly. The first one being the pizza guy got knocked out with Ethan Page coming from outside the camera shot and just knocking the guy out, and then lambasting Pearl Marvez, right? And then we had another one where Pac is doing an interview with Marvez, and then Orange Cassidy throws the worst looking punch, whiffs on the punch, and then poor Pac just fell down and sold it. And that was pre-recorded, I believe. So they could have edited that, or was it not pre? I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I have no idea.
Sure, but I'm not sure if their backstage stuff is live or pre-recorded. But either way, it looked like shit.
It looked bad. So
Ethan Page did a good job.
Yeah. Well, he always does great. Heath apologized to Alexander and Swan backstage for costing them the tag titles. Scott D'Amore then booked Alexander, Swan, and Heath versus Eddie Edwards, Bennett, and Taven. I think Edwards, Bennett, and Taven are going to be a trio going forward. Come Bound for Glory. I just got a feel in there.
I'm okay
and I
with
like that. I like that trio. I just don't think Kenny King fits with them, and I think that Vincent and PCO kind of are better doing their own thing. Or if they're going to keep the group alive, they can do it kind of like AEW and New Japan's groups, where you're kind of like affiliated, but you do your different things. You know, they could do stuff like that. But
your House of Torture, yes,
yeah, House of Chaos, House of Torture, Blackpool Combat Club. Mickie James defeated Hyan. Hyan's a local indie wrestler. Are you familiar with her work? I've never seen her before.
I've seen her stuff in AEW. She's solid. She's all right.
Okay. Cool. And then Giselle Shaw came to the ring and after the match and challenged Mickie James to Victory Road. And I'm pretty excited about that match. Giselle Shaw's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The match with Mickie and Hyan wasn't very good. I didn't think Mickie was on top of her game here. I thought she actually missed a couple moves and looked a bit slow, but I think that Giselle Shaw will get the best out of Mickie. So looking forward to that.
I think we don't like talking about this, but I think Mickey's kind of lost the fastball a little bit, unless she's in there with like top talent. Like Deanna last year, her had some great matches, but Deanna might be the best women's wrestler in the world. Like legitimately, like at least in North America,
yeah.
At least in North. I don't know enough about Japan, so
I think an argument can be made. Yeah. And our friend Scotty Wrestling will educate us one day when we have him on.
Correct. That's why I pulled it back. It said in North America. Yeah. And then same with with Giselle Shaw. I think she'll get a good match out of her. But like here, like Hyan's solid, but there's a reason she hasn't been picked up anywhere. She's not bad, but she's not,
Yeah.
She's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's room to grow there, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we had a scary PCO video package with Vincent, which I don't know what's going on, but I like it. I don't know why I like it. It's entertaining, but I don't understand it.
Vincent's good at this stuff. Like, in Ring of Honor, his whole gimmick was the horror king. Like, he did like the it balloons and stuff like that. So he's actually really good at this kind of stuff. I actually prefer him doing this stuff than Eric Young, to be quite frank.
You know what? I thought that his performance was a little bit better than Eric's.
Yeah, I think Eric comes off as very theatrical, right? Like he's really playing for the cheap seats, whereas Vincent, a little bit more subdued.
So Vincent and Matt Taven had a feud in I guess the pandemic era, right?
Lasted forever. Yes.
Yeah. So they had a steel cage match. Was that pretty good? Because I was thinking about going back and finding that.
I don't remember the cage match. I remember the ladder match they had.
Okay.
The ladder match is the Ring of Honor pandemic era stuff is not very good because it's like dead silent. Right.
Okay.
Like, how
they didn't put in the fake noise, right?
Yeah, they didn't put in the fake noise. And when they did the pure tournament, it worked okay because it was like more reality based. Their plunder matches in that era, man, they were really hard to watch then. I imagine going back and looking at it, probably not great. I'm sure the work is fine, but it's weird watching people do pro wrestling with no noise around them,
Yeah, yeah. And we had that with Impact too. So for like a good 6 months. So
yeah.
Next week on Impact, we got Guja versus Brian Myers in a ladder match, and then Aussie Open versus the Motor City Machine Guns. So looking forward to that. And we go to our main event. It is, hold on. Oh, I have the thing here this week. Hold on.
We have a thing?
No, well, this is bad radio. Sorry.
We have a thing. I'll keep talking while Mike figures. Oh, there we go. Oh, the overlay. The overlay.
just for the overlay. All right. I need a producer that is willing to work for nothing. Sorry. So the Motor City Machine Guns, they defeated the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, and I would say one of the Good Brothers' better matches since they've been with Impact. Probably one of their best matches. So this is the big send off for Gallows and Anderson. I liked the match, and I think we're gonna get Motor City Machine Guns challenging OGK down the road. Obviously not at Victory Road, but maybe a Bound for Glory there. But what'd you think?
Man, I thought this was really good. Like we've been hard on old Doc and Carl these last couple months. They seem like they're just checked out. I think the Guns just bring out the best in everybody, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I think this was a good match. And I think it was a good one. I think the Good Brothers kind of went out strong, right? Like there was times they looked really good, and there was times they looked like they were cashing paychecks. But I think the last match in the company for a while went out good. I was really happy with this match.
Yeah, and we have to transition over to Patreon now. We've just finished our review, and we're actually we're gonna talk about the legacy of the Good Brothers in Impact Wrestling. And it's actually like a lot of people, if they only know what they saw on TV, you probably wouldn't have a very high opinion, but a lot of growth was made under or with them in the company. So a lot of the cool things we got to see in Impact were a direct result of the Good Brothers being in the company. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the PWI 500, the very legitimate list of wrestlers, top 500 wrestlers. There's some Impact folks on there, and we're going to see if we'd agree or disagree. Brace for debate about the number one overall wrestler. So we'll see how we feel there. I haven't even told JD we're doing this. And
no, I'm not prepared.
Yeah, because I just now decided we're gonna do it, and then Kenny Omega shot his mouth off in AEW, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Former Impact champion Kenny Omega, maybe he'll come back to Impact one day. Maybe not. All right, guys. Hey, that's going to do it for us on the free feed. Head over to patreon.com/fightgamemedia and join the conversation there.